Okay, welcome back. This is going to be a quick video of some examples of some detention ponds that I found around town in Bartlett and close to the university. And hopefully you'll get to see them and look at all the different components, and then you'll be able to spot them around town as you drive around. So let me share my screen with you real quick. And let's start my PowerPoint. Okay, so I've got 2 or 3 examples of some detention ponds in Bartlett and Shelby County that I want you to look at, and we'll review real quick. And I want you, as we go through, see if you can identify where the inlet is, look at the configuration of the pond, slope, protection, outlet structure, if there's trash racks on the if there's trash racks on the outlet structure. So this is one I took pictures of a few years ago. You can notice the cars are a little dated. This is a detention pond at St. Elmo near Alturia out in Bartlett. And I'm looking towards the west, from the west edge of this. So what can you see? Well, I'll give you a little hint to get started. You can see the development is up here on the top. The water is going to accumulate there on the parking lot and probably enter in this point, pool here, and then probably exit there. That's just the general idea. So again, there's our development. That's the inlet from the parking lot, and there's our outlet. There's a couple other views, a little close-up of the inlet structure. You can see down here at the bottom that there is some kind of ditch. I don't know if that's concrete or not, but it's pretty hard and compact. Again, there's the development up in the north, and there's our inlet structure and the trickle channel. So now we're actually at the development, so you can see the water is going to collect and flow from the parking lot into our inlet structure, go down and come out that pipe that we just saw. You can see the trickle channel moving over to the outlet structure there. And you can also see the general shape of the pond from the embankment. So we're this is on the east edge. So again, there's our inlet from the parking lot, and our trickle channel and our outlet structure. So this is a bigger view. So now you can see the general layout of there's the back part of the embankment. It's more kind of a triangular shape. You can see there's a lot of housing over here. So this embankment's protecting them from overflow of that pond. Again, you can see the inlet and the outlet of the pond. Oh, I wanted to show you this. Notice the size of these trees when I first took these pictures. I went back a few years ago, and now you can see the trees are a little bit larger. So the pond is still there, still doing its job. Another day, you can see the trees are quite large. The vegetation here in the embankment is really much more developed. That's the inlet structure from the parking lot. You can see there's a grate to keep large debris out, and it flows down, and you can see the outlet over here into the pond. This is the outlet structure. So there's the bar screens, as you can see. You can't really see it in this picture. I'll point it out there, but that's the outflow opening. You can see it better in this drawing. So when the water is fairly low, oops, go back up, sorry. When the water is fairly low, it's really flowing out this hole. As the levels get higher and higher, it gets too high, maybe to the point where it's going to overtop the embankment, then you have a larger discharge possibility behind this plate. There's again a close-up of the hole and the top, and this was behind the plate. So this is the actual pipe where everything is going into the stormwater system, into the street. And then it even has a larger opening here at the top, and it's capped off to keep debris out of it. Now, literally just across the street behind another development is another much larger detention pond. And this one is also on Alturia. If you're familiar with Bartlett, this is Alturia Road here in the back. So again, we have some development. This pond put in when these homes were built. I would say that's pretty close to 20 years ago. And you can see there's a lot of different inlets coming through in these trickle channels coming down from really all different locations. And then there's our output structure. So this is the opposite side from the west. And again, you can see up here is all of our development from the strip mall and then the homes. And they're all putting water into this detention pond. Lots of inlets. Again, you can see the trees are pretty small. And now today, I took this picture just a few years ago, it's much more developed. Those trees provide a barrier too behind the homeowners to the detention pond. So I'm down now in the pond. You can see it's quite deep. It's 8-10 feet deep, so it can impound a lot of water. And again, you can see the entrance from all the different locations. This is a trickle channel. It's a gap between the curbing up here. There's this water being caught in inlet structures and being brought here. There's a lot of different ways for water to get into this pond. Again, this is a more modern picture. See, the trees are developed again. So I'm down looking at it. So again, another way for water to get in, coming right off the parking lot and then collected in different places and coming into the system. That's the outlet, believe it or not. Pretty small for such a large thing. When it was originally built, you can see it's armored to control the erosion there. There's actually two of them. And that's what it looks like today. You can see when it was first built, there's people down here maintaining. Well, there are some people are just taking a break, but it's easy for people to get in, to maintain the grass, cut the grass, keep everything nice and tidy. So again, more inlets. And there's our trickle channel again. So again, looking over from the other side, looking from the east, again, you can see the immature trees along the tree line here. Again, there's our best employee working hard. This is what it looks like today. You can see the trees are much more developed. And this is kind of be like a panorama. I'm going to swing looking around so you can see as we swing through, kind of give you a size and shape of the pond. So I'll go back. So it's quite a large pond. And this is what it looks like most of the time. Really not anything down there to attract people. This probably could have been done a little bit differently. This could have been a park of some kind. They could have integrated it with the community. There's plenty of people living around here, but I believe the pond was put in initially for the development and the homeowners and the contractors, and they really didn't integrate it well to the community, unfortunately. Okay, now this is a big pond. This is what's called the Yale Road Park in Bartlett on Yale Road. Now this one does have some recreational opportunities. You can't see it right now. I'm looking from the parking lot down, but up here on this hilled area, there's a playground, lots of activities. On good spring days and non-virus days, there's lots of people there all the time. I used to take my kids there quite a lot. It's a great place to go. They actually stock this pond here in the back, and you can actually go fish. I don't think I want to eat the fish from that pond, but it is stocked. People do go down there and fish. Now, this is interesting, is that there's a little cut in the embankment over here, and that's a spillway. So that's a controlled area for water to leave this pond under high water circumstances. There's a trickle channel, so there's water coming in from the development, as you can see. So now we are on the other end. I was up here originally, up here in the parking lot. Now I'm on the back side of it. You can see the kind of the shape of the embankment all the way around the pond. That spillway we're talking about is right here. So again, this is going to collect all this water from pretty large subdivisions. So it's got this one major inlet in here, and I'll see it in a second. And then there's the outflow structure to take it under the embankment and out. And in emergency cases, then it'll run through the spillway to keep the embankment from overtopping. So now we're looking back. This is the main inlet into the pond. You see it's quite large. It collects water from a wide variety across the street there on St. Elmo, I'm sorry, on Yale, from a lot of the homes. So there's our big inlet. So just went up a little closer. You can see the inlet's pretty big. You can almost stand up in it. Some interesting graffiti in there. I took the kids in there for a little exploration. You can just go right underneath the other side of the street and you can see where the water is being collected. So this is the other side of the street. There's a little fenced in area. You see it's protected to keep people out. If you look down in there, you can see it's a fairly large square concrete that runs way back. And water is collected from all those homes, all those streets, and funneled into here and then into the pond. So this is the outlet structure for the system. You can see it has a kind of a pretty crude bar screen to keep large things out, but the water is going to come from all directions and normally overflow and then go underneath the embankment to the natural drainage ditch to the west. I'm sorry, to the east. So you can't really see it, but that's the top of that outlet structure. So again, it's going to take water down and out, and this is our spillway that you can see. And there is a natural creek there just on the outside. Everything's going to discharge into that. I'm not sure what the name of that structure is. On the back side of that spillway, this is this is the outlet structure. This is the water normally comes out from the overflow. If it does overtop, it hits these blocks and it tries to slow it down before it exits and causes a tremendous amount of erosion down here on the bottom. So I just happened to be driving around on Sunday, March 30th in 2008, just a few years ago, and we had a significant rainfall, and you can see the Yale Road Park is full or starting to fill. You can see our little bridge here is almost underwater. You can see the water is coming in from the subdivision through the inlet and filling the pond up. And the water is coming out the outlet and exiting the pipe into the natural system. You can see Bartlett's been dumping rubble here, trying to maintain that over the years, keep it from eroding. And that's just another flow. That water is moving pretty quick. I wouldn't want to walk through it. This pond, this channel is not very deep, but still you could get injured if you're not careful. Now, a few years later, on May 5th, 2011, some of you might remember we had some pretty big rains. And now you can see this one's really underwater. There's the top of our bridge, much deeper than it was before. You can see the size of the pond, elevation. This little gazebo area is normally where people can sit. It's already underwater. And you can see now the water is so high that we are going over the spillway. And you can see the energy dissipation blocks doing their job, trying to slow things down. There's a little closer view of that. Now, just a couple of years ago, on April 7th, 2019, we had another pretty big rain. And I happened to be going by. There's some of my kids right over there in the corner. And you can see the raining was pretty good. It was up. In fact, you can see the water when we got by there, the water, that's a lot higher than I showed you in the other picture. So the pond's really absorbing quite a lot of water. I went across the street to show you the channel that's collecting the water from the homes moving towards the pond. It's pretty full too, so it's still bringing a lot of water in. There's the overflow at the spillway. You see the dissipation blocks are really going at it. I got down a little closer to see. You can see also the water level in the channel is a lot larger. Let's see, I think I have some video here. Let's see if this is going to work. There we go. So you should be able to hear the sound get an idea of the amount of water that's moving. This little path here, normally people can walk down through here and come up on the other side. You can see the playground up in the top. It's quite a bit of water. Still under its capacity. It still has capacity for a little bit more. And then I went down near the blocks just so you can see the energy of the water. Hopefully this will work. Let's see if it does. There we go. You can see the energy blocks, concrete blocks, are really dissipating a lot of energy. It's quite a bit of flow. I wouldn't want to try to walk through that. Pretty noisy too. Okay, so one more scenario that I wanted to show. This was when they built the SAMs out on Highway 64. Of course, that was, again, a few years ago. But I got out there right when they did it, and most of you probably don't notice it, but when you come in here off of Highway 64 and you make your left in here to go to Sam's, there's detention ponds all around for the Walmart and the Sam's parking lot. So this is Highway 64 at Walmart. Again, you can see here's an inlet structure. Oops, went too little fast. You can see the energy dissipation blocks trying to slow it down as the water comes in. I've got this nice skirt here to protect for erosion. Here's another system where water's coming in, or possibly this might be an outlet actually. You can see as the water pulls up and starts to swirl, we've got some protection there. This is the picture I showed you earlier. This is one that had some damage before it was completely done. It's a lot cleaned. It's cleaned up now and working better. You also notice this building up here is painted white in case you're trying to locate what that is. They use a variety of different bricks, you can see, unmatched bricks, and just decide to paint it. Now this is the entrance as you come in. I think that place is called Firebirds. You go over this little connection here. This is a culvert that connects both sides of the pond. This is behind Firebirds, and you can see this is not a pillbox from World War II. This is an overflow system too. So this is an outlet structure. You can see this is the normal flow when the water's pretty low. As the water level gets too high, this is the emergency overspill structure for that. This is what it looks like just a few years ago. You can see the building's been painted and still working pretty well. Again, here's a structure, water coming in, erosion control, and again, as the water eddies behind, we have some armoring for that. Again, this is the other side. So there's the restaurant side. This is the Walmart side looking back. Again, you can see how the two are interconnected. And this is standing in the back of the Sam's parking lot today. You can see it's a lot more developed than it was back a few years ago. Another picture. Pretty good. There's a lot of volume. So I'm not sure what year storm this was designed for, but you got to think about that Sam's parking lot and building and the Walmart there and its parking lot. It's big impermeable surface, so a lot of water needs to be detained. Okay, there's one more I want to show you about in this video, and this is very close to the campus. In fact, we're here in the engineering building. Actually, that's pointing towards our room in 302. And if you go down Central, there's a church over here, Second Presbyterian Church, and they have a recreational field here, a soccer field. That field used to be kind of on a hill, but I think the church, in cooperation with the city, redeveloped that site and turned it into a local detention pond. We were having some issues with flooding in this area. And you guys might remember in our trip from fall down Grandview, going towards Sheehan, there's some pretty nice homes over here. And this helps alleviate local flooding in their area. So this is what the field looks like. If you just walked up to it, you'd say, oh, it's a nice flat field for soccer or whatever other sporting event you want to have. But actually, if you look carefully, it is a detention pond. So you can see in the bank here, there's an embankment on both sides. This is the more natural shape. And this embankment area runs around the whole site. So I got down into it. So this is the actual playing field, but you can see we have embankment all the way around to impound several feet of water in this field. You can really see it in the back corner. So here's the natural elevation. And again, you can see this embankment that runs all the way around. There it is up on the natural spot. So you can see, you can really see the outline of the pond. And if you look carefully, there's drains in the corners. There's another set over here on the north side that will help drain the water off. This is looking back towards Central. You can see there is our outlet structure. So once the water starts accumulating, it'll be pushed to this structure. So there's some grading here you can see to keep debris out. And then that water will go in and flow in from the field from all directions and exit into the stormwater system. And again, those are those grates that you see located 3 or 4 on each side of the field. The field is probably slightly crowned, so the water will run to the edges and then flow into those pipes or those grates. So that's all I wanted to show you with this part. Let me stop my share and ask if you have any questions or comments or any problems with the homework, please let me know. So until next time, be safe.